Happy Wednesday, good people. My name is Coach Jocelyn Reese with Fit and New, and I am bringing you today's habit therapy. Every Wednesday, every other Wednesday, we have a habit therapy that's specific to fitness or nutrition with the focus on how can you create healthier habits around eating better so that you can reach your goals or moving more. So, habit therapy is a chill place to heal for the woman that does it all. Today's topic is how to eat healthy during holiday seasons and when you're also on the go. So, as a nutrition coach, I have a lot of information on eating healthy, especially being a busy mom myself. These are some tips that I'm going to share with you guys that I apply on my own, but it could be challenging when you're trying to eat healthy, you're busy, and it's a holiday. So, holidays are usually those times where we're more around our family and friends than we usually are. And so, we're socializing. There might be some social drinking, there might be some pressures to eat things that you typically don't eat. But I want to give you some 5 takeaways that you could apply starting tomorrow, because at the time of filming this webinar, it is going to be July 4th tomorrow. All right. So, tip number 1 is to plan ahead. You probably have a good idea of what your schedule looks like, who's going to be around you, what time you may or may not be eating. So, planning ahead could include things like packing snacks. These are going to be healthy snacks that you would pack at home. So, try to avoid having your snack fix happen on the go because typically when we're out in the streets, the snacks could easily default to pulling up to a fast food place or running into a convenience store and coming out with chips and a soda. So the things that you could plan ahead for while you're at home before you leave, or while you're at your prospective location before you leave, is fruit. These are things that are easy to grab and go. Find things that you like first off, and that maybe don't need to be cut: oranges, apples, bananas. You can also grab nuts and seeds. Maybe you have some containers of yogurt, so you get a little protein if your gut can handle cow's milk, or you could go for a different alternative base of yogurt, like a oat milk or a coconut milk yogurt base. But the idea is just to have some snacks already prepared, something that you could throw in your bag. Okay. The second tip is going to be stay hydrated. So, majority of the time when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. And so, if you notice you haven't had at least 4 ounces of water in the last hour, you want to grab yourself a water bottle and drink at least 4 ounces every hour, is a good rule of thumb. But another thing that you could do is just make sure you have a water bottle. So while you're planning ahead with any snacks, also pack a water bottle so that when you're thirsty, you could sip on that throughout the day. Um, my favorite type of reusable water bottle is going to be a glass one. Just glass or stainless steel are the best go-to, just because if you're traveling a lot locally, especially, and you tend to leave water bottles in a vehicle, and if it's hot, the chemicals from the plastic are going to seep into your water, and those are just toxins for the body that we really can't get out. They hide in our fat cells. So do something that you also enjoy drinking. So if you have a hard time drinking water, the way that you would help yourself drink more water is to add like lemon slices or lime or berries or cucumber to your water. That's called infused water. So if you're preparing a water bottle in advance and you know that, it's more than likely you won't get through it, you could increase the probability of you actually drinking it by adding in some of those fresh fruits and herbs. All right, we're on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 for holiday eating on the go is going to be practice your portion control. So, whenever you do get to wherever you're going when you're eating out, you want to be mindful of how much of whatever it is that you're eating. If you're eating at a restaurant, one good way to practice this in advance is When your plate comes to you, you could automatically ask for a to-go box and just pack half of your food if the food is enough to feed more than one person, which typically it is. Um, so your portion control is important because when we're on the go, especially if we're traveling, we tend to eat more often than not if we're at home. And so eating more often is more calories that you're consuming. And if you're moving less, so like if you're further away from your fitness routine, you're not really walking or working out because you're on the go and you're on a holiday, then all of those extra calories are likely going to get stored as fat. So you can help yourself by controlling your portions, smaller plates, servings, smaller meals, maybe more often than larger meals. Okay. So that was tip number 3. Let's go to tip number 4. So choose wisely. So this one could be paired with your portion control, but you want to choose what you're eating wisely. So think about the first thing that I always suggest people think about when it comes to eating healthy meals is what on your plate is protein, because it's very, very easy for us to default to carbs and carbs only. And carbohydrates are necessary for the body, but if we have too many carbohydrates and we're not moving, utilizing that energy, it is going to be stored as fat. Protein is one of those macronutrients that most people are deficient in because we don't prioritize it, but it's very necessary because it's the building block of the body. So, building block meaning it helps your body heal, grow, repair, regenerate. And so, if you're able to eat more foods that are helping you heal, build, repair, and regenerate, you're going to strengthen your muscles, and having more muscle on your frame helps you burn fat, which is ultimately what most people want to do. Okay, so prioritizing protein is in alignment with choosing wisely while you're out on the go. So the first thing you want to do is what on my plate is protein. You ideally want to make sure your protein is lean. So just meaning that it's not full of fat. It's going to be full of extra unnecessary fat if it was fried. So choose options that are grilled, baked, or sauteed. Secondly, after you identify your protein, another wise choice is going to be to identify how much of your plate is vegetables. So, a lot of times when we're out and about, it's really easy for us to not eat vegetables. So, you will have to be intentional about finding that, especially if you're eating off of a fast food menu or from a restaurant. The options that they typically present to us are like it'll be a protein that might be sandwiched between carbs like bread, and then the side is probably another carbohydrate like potatoes. So you would want to ask, make a request, or just do the switch on your own for the carbohydrate side to be a vegetable. So that's going to be the choosing wisely tip. That was tip number 4. Let's go to the very last tip. So we're talking about how to eat healthy on the go, especially during holiday seasons. And this one is don't skip meals. Don't skip meals. So the meals that are necessary, I mean, necessary-ish unless you're intentionally fasting, is going to be your first meal of the day, which we call breakfast. It just means breaking your fast from when you're sleeping. Lunch, and then dinner. Snacks are not a requirement. You do not have to have snacks in between your meals. It's actually better if you don't because it gives your digestive system a rest, and then it makes your blood sugar more stable. So while you're being wise about choosing what's on your plate, making sure you have more vegetables with the fiber to help you stay full longer, your protein to help you keep your muscles strong so that you can burn the fat, you're controlling your portions and not eating more than you need because you're moving a lot less, you're going to make sure you are still at least getting the meals throughout the day. So your first meal of the day, the mid meal, you want it to be at the height of your day. So ideally, like when the sun is at its highest. So when the sun is at its highest, that's noon, which is lunchtime. This is going to be the ideal meal where you would eat more carbohydrates than any other meal of your day, because you have time to burn it, versus dinner when the sun is setting. So our body works on a circadian rhythm. It has a clock on how it likes to move. Our digestive tract works with it. So as we wake up, our digestive system is also waking up at the top of the day. Our digestive system is at its peak, so it's more likely to break down foods and utilize the energy. And then as the sun sets, our digestive system wants to rest. So when you're eating your evening meal, this is a good time for you to focus more on lean proteins, vegetables. Lunch is going to be a good time to focus on lean proteins and carbohydrates. And then breakfast is a good time, and fats also. Breakfast is a good time to focus on carbohydrates. These are going to be things like fruits, something that's hydrating, or healthy fats, nuts, seeds, avocados, things that will help you feel more sustained throughout the day. All right. So, in summary, a quick recap on how you can eat healthy on the go during the holiday season is: number one, plan ahead. Number two, stay hydrated. Number three, practice controlling your portions. Number four, choose wisely while you're out as far as what you're going to eat. And then number five is don't skip meals. So hopefully you can incorporate at least one of these tips within the next day or two. But I truly believe that if you do, it'll just help you put yourself in that mind frame of being intentional, because you're paying attention to things. And then that's just going to generate more energy for you to keep doing more good and get you to your goal a little bit faster. So that's all I have for us today. This was Habit Therapy with nutrition coach Jocelyn of Fit and New. And we'll catch you guys next week. All right. Have a great day. Bye.